While the colleagues are putting my presentation up, I would just like to start by thanking very much. Now, for me, it's a privilege to be in Romania for the first time, and certainly in Brașov, this beautiful city. So I would like to start, even before the presentation, just by highlighting the main reason for us to develop communities that foster the mobility of older people. And that is to ensure that people live well, that everyone lives well. And in doing that, we also ensure that we save the only planet we have. Because at the end of the day, this is our common home. And with climate change and environmental degradation, this can no longer be the case in the near future. Now, with that in mind, I would like to start my presentation showcasing some of the potential health and economic gains that we can harvest through a sustainable mobility system, bringing the results of a study developed in a mid-sized city, a bit smaller than the one we're in today. So in the case of Port Louis, which is the city of this example, we could, with a sustainable mobility system, avert 13 premature deaths per year, and also have economic gains of around $23 million per year. And this only focusing on actions in the transport sector. I just told Aira Luca that my work got a bit bigger. So we are not considering in this analysis all the other areas that are relevant for us to create cities and communities where everyone can live well, as you can see on this beautiful flower on your right-hand side. Now, interventions to improve mobility, they can certainly help avert deaths, they can provide economic returns, but this is not enough. Because at the end of the day, as you know, urbanization and population aging together with climate change is radically shifting the way we live. And it is true that while we are living longer, it's not necessarily true that we have made the same gains in terms of healthy life expectancy. So just to put in simple terms what these graphs are trying to show, we are being able to add years to life, but not necessarily to add life to years. And that is why the World Health Organization has been working for many years now to enable cities and communities to create environments in which people can grow older well, that enables us all to meet their basic needs, to learn, grow, and make decisions, to be mobile, to build and maintain relationships, and to contribute to society. And it's not by chance that ensuring that communities foster the abilities of older people is one of the 4 action areas of the UN Decade for Healthy Aging, which started last year, and it's going to last until 2030 and hopefully more. Now, I'm sure that everyone in this room is convinced of the importance of sustainable mobility, but I have been asked by the organizers to share with you some concrete solutions on how we can do that not only for people, but with them. And we would like to advocate here that the approach developed for age-friendly cities and communities to be used as a means of achieving this bright future for all. And there's already extensive guidance on how to do it. And I just shared here some examples with you all in case you're interested to look at. But now, more important than that, that guidance has already been put to use, because the good news is that through our global network for age-friendly cities and communities created 12 years ago, we already have a growing global community of cities, countries, experts, civil society, all sharing the vision that every city and community strives to become more age-friendly. The Finnish cities of Lahti and Tampere, mentioned by Madam Ambassador, are already part of the global network. And we also have 17 outstanding affiliate programs in several countries, as you see highlighted here on the dark blue and also the dashed blue for subnational affiliates. Now, today, what I would like to share with you is what these people are already doing, because they are doing a lot. And we are compiling these practices and putting them on the global database for age-friendly cities and communities. And I would just like to briefly share with you 3 examples on how we can use this framework to put people at the center of the transformation we need for sustainable mobility. The first one is coming from a member. So the Ennis town has implemented a number of walkability audits that were conducted with the Older People's Council, but also with wheelchair users and persons with limited abilities to assess the city, to see what is working and what is not working for them. So they developed a strategy, an action plan, and then after that, the town, Ennis town, responded with a number of changes. Not only infrastructural changes, now enhancing the shared surface, you see it's a beautiful surface to walk, but also changing the way businesses address and welcome older people in that community, for example. Now, the second example I would like to bring here is not coming from a city or a town. It's coming from one of the affiliates, in this case, our Francophone Network for Age-Friendly Cities. So what the Francophone Network does is a funding scheme to support the territories with the focus on small communities and towns to actually put in place the community support grant that will ultimately do what the community just did in Ennis town that I've mentioned. So they finance with seed money, and we have one axe of this support grant scheme to finance people to get together, to produce an inventory, and to pilot a participatory approach where people identify the needs and aspirations in all the domains of age-friendly cities and communities, including mobility. And then there's a second tranche of money that will actually support the implementation of the interventions that are needed to respond to those needs and aspirations. So what I would like to highlight here, in addition to this component of trust that we just saw in the other example, is the vertical integration, because we have the ministerial level engaged, we have national public banks engaged, we have the local authority engaged, and of course we have older people themselves driving the agenda, the community leading the solutions at the local level. The third example is very interesting, and I would like to just stress here that when we think about mobility, usually we tend to think about people wanting to go from point A to point B in a city. But this is also the case when it comes to going from point A to point B in your own home. This is also about mobility. So what this project does, the age-friendly Healthy Age Homes program from Age-Friendly Ireland, which is also a national affiliate, is to bring together several policies and activities that are already there, but not necessarily organized and coordinated in a way that reaches older people and their families in an efficient way. So you have a local coordinator that establishes a relationship of trust with those families, performs a needs assessment to understand what is that they need to continue living in their own place. And sometimes that involves right-sizing. We know that oftentimes old couples are left with a big house, kids leave, they go to work elsewhere, and then that house is too big, too costly, too time-consuming for them. So right-sizing, also improving the energy efficiency, improving accessibility, the infrastructure of the house, very much focusing on universal access and other innovative architectural designs. And then, of course, making sure that these people are receiving the care, the social and the health care that they deserve. Now, I could be talking about the many examples that I invite you to have a look at in the global database of age-friendly cities and communities, but I know that now we have an agenda to cover. I would just like to highlight here, Raluca. So a good Romanian friend of mine told me that Romanians like to take things with a pinch of humor. So I would like to say a little joke here. Let's imagine that a mayor today prohibits 20% of its population to benefit from city life. So you can no longer take public transport, you cannot do shopping, you have to stay at home quiet. I'm sure that he or she would be fired on the next day. So by not addressing the population aging, this is what we are doing. We are preventing these people from fully engaging in society. So I'm sure that cities and communities in Romania and many other parts of Europe are doing amazing stuff, are doing excellent work, and working hard to make their communities become more age-friendly. And I would strongly encourage those that are interested in joining this global community to please reach out just so that you can contact others, inspire and get inspired, exchange knowledge and support. So I leave this last slide with the link to apply. I hope that the slides will be shared with the audience and some relevant information as well on the criteria. Please do not hesitate to reach out and contact me should you have any questions. That's me, and I once again thank you very much and look forward to continuing this amazing journey with local authorities and the communities together with the World Health Organization. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Thiago.